The person occupying your thoughts is struggling with something you can't see. There's a reason their energy keeps crossing your mind, and it isn't random. The person you've been thinking about lately isn't just remembering you casually. They're caught in a quiet internal struggle, trying to make sense of emotions they didn't plan to feel and thoughts they didn't invite. They're attempting to resist something, but resistance is only making it stronger. They replay moments with you, even the smallest ones. A look, a sentence, a shared silence. These memories surface when they least expect them, late at night, during routine tasks, or in moments when their guard is down. What they're trying to do right now is understand why you still affect them. They ask themselves, why does this person stay on my mind? Why does this connection feel unfinished? Why can't I let this go? And the more they try to push those thoughts away, the clearer the truth becomes. They're realizing that you touched something deeper than attraction. You triggered awareness. Awareness of what they want, what they're missing, and what they've been avoiding emotionally. But here's where it becomes complicated. They're also trying to protect themselves. They fear what acknowledging this connection might change. They fear disruption, vulnerability, and the possibility of facing feelings they buried long ago. So instead of speaking openly, they retreat into silence. This silence isn't indifference. It's hesitation. They want to reach out, but they stop themselves. They want clarity, but they fear the outcome. They want honesty, but they're unsure they're ready for it. That's why the energy feels inconsistent. One moment you feel close, the next distant. Then suddenly you feel them thinking of you again. This back and forth isn't confusion about you, it's conflict within themselves. Right now they're trying to decide between comfort and truth. Comfort is staying silent. Truth is acknowledging what this connection really means. And truth takes courage. If you felt sudden emotional waves, unexpected memories, or a strong intuitive pull, it's because emotional energy doesn't disappear when words go unspoken. It circulates. Connections that are meant to teach or transform don't fade quietly. They wait. What matters most now is not what they decide, but how you respond internally. You are not meant to pause your life waiting for someone else to find clarity. You are not meant to chase understanding from silence. And you are not meant to doubt your worth because someone is afraid to act. Whatever happens next, remember this. If they come forward, it will be because they finally chose honesty over fear. If they don't, the connection has already done its work. It showed you the depth you carry and the kind of presence you deserve in return. Some people enter our thoughts because they're thinking of us. Others appear because the universe is reminding us of our own value. Pay attention, not just to them, but to what this experience is awakening inside you. The person you can't stop thinking about is fighting a quiet battle. There's a reason their presence returns to your mind without warning. It isn't because you're overthinking. It isn't because you're lonely. And it isn't because you imagine the connection. The person you keep sensing is currently wrestling with feelings they didn't expect to surface. And you are at the center of that internal conflict. They're not trying to ignore you out of disinterest. They're trying to regain control over emotions that feel unfamiliar and inconvenient. Every time they attempt to distract themselves, something reminds them of you. A song, a phrase, a moment that mirrors something you once shared. These reminders arrive when they're emotionally unguarded, and that's when the truth becomes loudest. What they're really trying to do is decide. Decide whether to acknowledge what they feel or keep it buried. Decide whether to reach out or remain silent. Decide whether facing this connection is worth the change it may demand. And that decision feels heavier than they expected. They sense that once they speak honestly, things won't go back to how they were. This isn't a casual confession, it's an emotional turning point. And turning points require courage. So they hesitate. Their distance isn't coldness. It's fear of vulnerability. Their silence isn't rejection. It's self-protection. They are aware of the pull between you. They feel it in moments of stillness, in sudden emotional shifts, in the way your memory resurfaces without effort. This connection disrupted their emotional routine. You showed them a version of connection that feels real, not dramatic, not chaotic, but deeply present. And real connection has a way of exposing what no longer fits. That's why this feels unfinished. But here's the most important truth. Their inner struggle is not yours to carry. You are not responsible for their readiness. You are not meant to pause your healing for their hesitation. And you are not meant to shrink your expectations to accommodate their fear. If they find the courage to move toward honesty, you'll feel it, not through words alone, but through consistency and clarity. If they don't, the connection still served a purpose. It reminded you of your emotional depth and the kind of presence you deserve in return. Sometimes, someone stays on your mind not because they are meant to stay in your life, but because they are meant to awaken you. Trust the process. Honor your intuition. And remember, real connection never requires you to abandon yourself while waiting for someone else to choose. Let whatever unfolds next do so with truth, not longing. Your mindset shapes your whole life. For daily psychology and mindset insights, make sure to subscribe to Psychology Mindset.